Roll Hall of Fame.
And now it's episode 6. Episode 6 of the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. Matt's already a little steamy. Why are you steamy, Matt?
I'm fucking mad because for our segment for things that's happened this week that we love and hate, I'm so angry at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because Judas Priest was supposed to be in there along with a lot of other bands that deserve to be in there, a lot of other artists. Instead, they chose Bon Jovi over fucking Priest. Like, fuck Bon Jovi. I'm serious. I hate Bon Jovi. I hate his music. And that's fine. He doesn't have to give a shit about me. He's rich. Whatever. But fuck Bon Jovi. His music is so damn simple. I just fucking hate it. And, like, not that there's anything... I don't know what it is. It's not that I hate anyone for liking simple music. Yeah. It's just like Bon Jovi compared to Judas Priest when they have, bangers that everyone knows, like Breaking the Law, fucking Painkiller,
Especially like fucking Breaking the Law.
Yeah, when if you actually, take time to listen to how they've written it, how it's played, the instrumentals, everything, even Rob Halford's fucking vocals, it's out of this world experience level, and it's fucking amazing and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more than On a Steel Horse I Ride.
And a cowboy.
Like, I fucking hate it. Like, in my opinion, Bon Jovi hasn't put anything noteworthy out in a while, but Priest has. Priest can still sell out stadiums. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Bon Jovi does. I don't fucking care if he does. But I just know Priest deserves to be in there more. Fuck that. It's such horseshit. Like,
yeah.
And this isn't like any hate, but I always notice that the only people that love listening to Bon Jovi and singing Bon Jovi is the drunk dude at the bar who always sings Bon Jovi songs at the karaoke.
Yeah.
At the karaoke machine, or middle-aged white moms who live in middle-class and up neighborhoods. And if that makes you angry, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those people or anything. I'm just saying I don't see any dudes who wear, or chicks who wear jean cut-off, sleeveless jean vests with patches, be like, yeah, Bon Jovi changed my fucking life, man. Fucking brutal as fuck.
Don't forget the mullet.
Yeah.
They have to have the mullet, half a cigarette hanging out of their mouth.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the Hall of Fame in general is just a fucking joke.
Yeah. And
you can say I'm bitter or jealous or whatever, and that's fine. But this is just something I hate.
Well, yeah, just the fact, fuck, man. Judas Priest still isn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And fucking, like, here's the thing. Rob Halford has been more of an inspiration than Bon Jovi, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to say, like, none of the other members of Judas Priest aren't amazing, because they're all fucking legends. But the reason I'm just bringing up how Rob Halford is because he was a lead iconic person in the gay movement in America. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the whole world, but I would just say at least America for right now. Because he came out as gay, and he's the lead singer of this, legendary metal band that no one would ever thought. And it hasn't changed anybody's opinion of them. Nobody says, oh, they're not as good since he came out. Or, oh, their music is down quality because they came out. They literally just judge their music because they're a band. They still give them credit because they're a band. And that's fucking legendary. And I'm not saying, like, any person should be, like, that should be judging characteristic.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that Rob Halford could come out at a time when it was really controversial to be gay, to be openly gay. And I know I'm not gay, so I can't speak from a personal experience, but this is just from what I've seen from documentaries and stuff like that. And he came out under all this scrutiny, and, like, he had so much support from his band and from his fan base, and he became such an inspiration of so many people that it would rival that of even Freddie Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, but Bon Jovi's there. Their last album before they took that major break was Painkiller.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fucking iconic album, and just, God. I fucking hate Bon Jovi. Fucking hate Bon Jovi. Fuck you. Something good that's happened to me, though, is that at my current job, they were just trying to get rid of this, like, cool little, I'd even go on to say cute, suitcase.
Aw.
It's
So adorable.
Well, it looks like one of those like 1950, 1960 suitcases that you would take with you when you're running away from home to go to Hollywood.
I'm gonna be a star.
And that's what I use for now for like my recording equipment to carry around. Like it has like the postcards and stickers on it and everything. Like it's really schwanky and authentic and cool looking. I just like it. And then also came with a book that has like pictures of animals in it with like fun quirky dialogue. And it like I know I just got done complaining about basic stuff, but this but this book is so innocent. I needed this book this week because there's so much drama. Like we already talked about net neutrality enough in the last episode, but like there's so much drama and stress from that, and just a bunch of shit just going on this week. I needed something simple that was like easy to take in and just read, and it was cute because there's a picture of a pug in there by like some papers and a book and. Like he had a laptop in front of him with papers, and under that picture, the dialogue says, "Shit, should have done my taxes." And the pug looks so disgruntled, and it's cute and adorable. The book itself is called like Animals Talk in all caps. Like I'm not. It's fucking adorable. Okay.
Stop trying to defend yourself.
I'm just saying, animals are better than Bon Jovi.
Especially pugs, because I can see the Mercedes like sitting there like looking at a computer like shit. Like a little smoker's talk like shit, I should have done my taxes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I should have done them earlier.
I should just talk like this for the rest of the podcast.
Please don't.
So welcome everybody. You're fantastic, you're beautiful, but you're singing this shit. Bon Jovi, get it together.
Come on, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know Judas Priest needs to be there instead of Bon Jovi.
I hope we get fans that like making artwork of us or something. And I really hope someone just has me drawn disgruntled saying fuck Bon Jovi.
Can I beg to do it?
Yeah, we could have our artist Megan do it. She'll make that into a t-shirt for us or something. Like a t-shirt design. I'll just be angry, like shoving my fist through a desk, just like, fuck Bon Jovi!
No, I think we could actually get sued on that one, so probably not.
We'll just change the like letters around. We'll be John Bovey.
John Bovey. Or we could just say, fuck B, ... J, ...
And they'll think we hate blowjobs.
You hate blowjobs. You're the one punching a desk in this t-shirt. I'm nowhere in this one.
Fuck blowjobs. I don't want the Hershey Kiss. I want the bar.
I'm going to tell Lauren that.
Okay.
All right.
She's probably going to listen to it before you tell her it.
That's true. Yeah.
She's probably going to text me and be like, you don't hate mine, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go anymore. Now she's probably going to be so fucking angry. She's going to be like, why the fuck were you talking about this? And you know what's... I should probably just say that I love my wife.
I know.
I
hope she knows.
I know, I mean, it's one of the things I love.
Yeah.
I love my wife. She's great. No, she really is fantastic.
Yeah, Lauren, we love you. You're amazing.
So... Anyways, Cody, Hugo, something you love, something you hate.
Something I love, me and our buddy Harrison, we went and saw Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. And it was really cool, because like at first we thought it was just going to be like a stand-up comedy show.
That's a gross burp.
And dude, all your burps are gross.
I know.
Right? Because you inhale them like at the same time every time. You're like...
I'm a weird amalgam of a person. I wonder if I'm actually a person.
Dude, I don't know. It always sounds like you're about to like throw up. Maybe that's why like Mercedes loves you so much, because she's just like, you make the same sounds as I do.
I'm not alone in the world anymore.
But yeah, so we went and we were pleasantly surprised because just the way Harrison was telling me about the show, that it was just going to be like a Kevin Smith stand-up with special guest Jason Mewes, and it turned out to be it was a live taping of their podcast.
And we love our podcasts.
Yeah, and but shout out to them. Their podcast is Jane Silent Bob Get Old, and it's really cool because it's like, even though it's Jane Silent Bob, like it's just Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes like talking about their lives and stuff like that. It was really cool. It was really eye opening, just because like because we're starting out with this podcast. We're still in the beginnings of it. And then just seeing two guys who've been doing the podcast for almost 7.5 years, like it was really cool. Just kind of seeing how they were structured and everything, and it was fucking funny. And like also seeing one of my like, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but one of like a nerdy icon in Kevin Smith, just because like he wrote my
Nerd King,
just because he wrote one of my favorite Batman stories in Cacophony. And it was really good. Like, definitely in my top 5 favorites because, like, if he's not the first, he's one of the few that have actually defined the relationship between Batman and the Joker, which I thought is really cool because, like, at some parts he kind of humanizes the Joker in a sense, but at the very end, Joker's still not like humanized. It's just because at that very last part in the story and also in my opinion, like a very what was that?
Sorry, I completely zoned out. I didn't mean to.
No, fine, it's all right. I listened to all your stuff when you talk. And
I don't know what just
boring,
happened.
I guess.
No, because I was trying to I'm trying to control my breathing because I'm super self conscious that I'm a heavy breather. So I'm just like, okay, relax,
fucking mouth breather,
relax. And then I zoned out on something else, and then like I was like, oh god, I need to come back. What am I doing?
Where am I? Who are you? But and also like in my opinion, he uses a very, very underrated supervillain in Onomatopoeia, just because like what's really cool is like Onomatopoeia is just is a constant fourth wall breaker. You know, I'm sure they probably still heard that.
I was kind of hoping they did.
But he's a super underutilized supervillain because like what's really cool about him is he says like the actions that happen in comics that are supposed to be sounds.
Blam.
Yeah, like
pow,
blam, like whenever he like shoots his guns, like he goes
ding ding,
bang bang bang. He does. He says bang 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 bang, and then when he's out of bullets, he goes click 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 click. Like he says it.
Yeah.
While it's like being written out, like it's making the sounds in the comics. So it's like and it's just really cool, and I feel like there's not enough like villains kind of like that. In a sense, I mean, I don't know if there are any others like even in Marvel.
Yeah.
But like I always really liked that, and yeah, and he also like did my favorite run of the Green Arrow series. Like he's just really, really good because he like.
Real quick, how's the battery on that phone doing?
Good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can't see it from here.
It's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was really cool just like seeing them live, and like shout out to Jason Mewes because like when we saw it, he said they talked about how he used to be a really, really heavy like drug user, and he's went to rehab over 30 times.
Yeah. Like
in his tenure and stuff like that, and he's about 7.5 years clean, and he says he's still, even being clean for that long, he still struggles like with the needs and stuff like that, just because he like did it for so long and so heavily, and just like it's a real inspiration to see someone, especially like a famous person, because like famous people like.
They're surrounded by it.
Yeah, they're surrounded by it all the time,
and I feel like
the temptation's always there.
Well, and I can't speak from like someone who's like struggling with abuse's perspective, but I would say it's probably like different because they're essentially more celebrated when they do. Yeah, because they're famous. They're under a spotlight, where it's like someone who isn't like they're not really celebrated for it. No, and like that's probably. I don't mean like you should like do something bad and then stop doing it in order to get celebration. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, like,
no, not at all. But just like,
it's like the recognition, I guess.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that he doesn't do it for the recognition or the fame of like, oh yeah, I used to be a drug addict, now I'm clean. Like he
actually paid us to talk about this.
Yeah, no, it's just it's inspirational because he does it for his family and he does it for his friends. Yeah. Like they told a pretty Kevin Smith told a pretty heartening story about how he actually thought Jason Mewes finally overdosed, and because he didn't hear from him for like a while, and fucking like TMZ called Kevin Smith and was like, "Would you like to talk about the death of Jason Mewes?" And he was like, "Oh my god!" And then fucking Jason Mewes calls him like up 10 minutes later. He's like, "Hey dude, what's up?" And like Kevin Smith's like, what the fuck? TMZ just like, I think it was TMZ. He's like, they just called me asking about your death. And he was like, yeah, they called me too. I was so confused. but for him,
I hope we're so famous that TMZ presumes one of us to be dead.
Yeah, right.
Because the thing is that I'm just like, we're totally gonna roll with this for at least a day.
Yeah, it's just like congrats to Jason Mewes if he ever actually if he ever hears this podcast.
You know, this small podcast out of Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. Congrats, like stay clean, do it for your family and everything. And it's really inspirational to just like see someone who like is in the spotlight and stuff like that. Stay clean for his family and his friends. And it's not to like so he can be in the spotlight.
No.
So that's just really cool. And then something I hate is just like I guess something that I hate is like when people get, what are you doing?
The fucking part of the mic set got unadjusted, and I'm trying to be incognito about fixing this, and I don't know if I'm doing a good job.
Until I said
the audio is
something.
probably picking up on me fucking with it.
Could be. Oh no, well,
listeners are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
But just because like I know everyone has done this at some point, but it's like when people do, especially do this to an excess, is when you get an opportunity like to not just like better your life or something like that, just like an opportunity to like just do something great, or either like for yourself or for you and your family or like you and friends. Just like you constantly get opportunities to like do all the like do something.
Basically someone who has that unnatural luck that they're like always given great stuff to move up in the world and not work as hard.
Yeah, and then they blow it like on stupid reasons, like they have a chip on their shoulder for whatever reason. They think the world owes them like something, and especially like when they finally hit ground or like rock bottom, and they have to like pay for like the things that they did, like mistakes that they made. Like if you fuck up, like you have to pay for it. Doesn't matter what it is. Like you got to pay your dues when you fuck up, and they say like, oh well, I don't deserve this, or I shouldn't have to do this because of blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, like the world doesn't owe us anything. It's like we have to make what we have to like take what we get and then like make it better. We have to do that. It's not, no one's gonna fucking hand you something. Like you have to do it for yourself or do it for someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I think the point you're trying to get at is like, if you take someone like, Michael Jordan, who started out like with nothing, literal like success story.
Yeah.
Is that this dude who, if back in the 80s or 70s you talked about saying, this guy who's going to come onto the scene and be arguably the best basketball player ever. Mm-hmm. His name was Michael Jordan. He's going to go for the Chicago Bulls, become a baseball player and go back to it. Mm-hmm. Nobody would probably believe you, but this dude, he rose to the occasion and he blew all the non-believers away, and he earned his mantle.
Yeah.
Like he fought for it. And then you have people who are born into like a privileged family or rich family, maybe just for example. Like I'm not saying everyone is born into a privileged family. No. I'm just trying to make like a basic example who take for granted the chances they're given and take for granted, these opportunities they have and don't really fulfill them or follow them or, go and rock them. Not saying that they have to do it. No, but let's make it like this. You have two people trying to become successful doctors.
Yeah.
Okay. One is born into a family of doctors and literally all he has to do is study. And other than that, it's like a paid trip for him and everything. And the other person, they have to work, fund their own education, study, and stay up late in order to become, just as great. Well, the doctor who has all these privileges and all he has to do is study, doesn't take studying serious, slacks off, and just says kind of, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Has a whatever attitude.
I'll always have a chance to do it.
They'll give me another chance. It'll be whatever. And this person who's fighting, staying up late, breaking a sweat, risking relationships, just to succeed. just to have that same chance is taking it more serious. You know, and then I think that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, basically.
So, I mean, obviously we understand there, you know, for certain people, there's things that come up that make it, you know, that you can't do it. And so we're not trying to put everyone in one box, cause any drama or anything, but.
Oh, no. It's just, all around, it's just in my opinion, it's just like the world doesn't owe you anything. Like, you gotta, when you get the opportunities, you gotta take it, and you gotta take it for the best.
Yeah.
Like, make it into a pot, like, get the most that you can out of it and, like, succeed in it. Instead of, like, you get this opportunity, you maybe, like, make some money out of it, and then you blow it all, and then you just say, like, there'll be another chance. Oh, there'll be another chance, because some people don't get those other chances.
It's like that 8 Mile song.
Yeah.
The moment you want it.
Yeah.
Never let it go.
Yeah. I guess. Anyway, so let's get into the episode.
Real quick, did I tell you about...
Fine.
No, this is funny. It's super funny. It's about my kid. So I had her watch Air Bud for the first time.
Oh my God.
So if you've never seen Air Bud, it's this cheesy movie about a dog who's great at basketball.
Yeah, it bites the basketball and scores a dunk every time.
Which, like, super sad fact about it, the dog actually passed away from cancer before that movie's release.
Yeah, they had to get another... Well, they had a couple dogs.
No, they finished shooting.
Oh, they did finish shooting?
But the dog shortly passed away after. It was really sad.
I mean, it's not like it could have watched its own movie.
Why do you gotta be that guy? Anyway, so, like, there's a scene in that movie where the kid who's bonding with the dog goes to an island and, like, tells the dog to, like, go away because he's doing it for the dog's own good. So the dog doesn't have to go back to its abusive owner. Mm. And so the kid gets back on the boat while the dog is chasing a ball, and the kid's, like, crying as he sees, you know, his dog stuck on the island, and he's just crying. And then, like, the crying was getting louder and louder, and I was like, I don't remember his crying in this movie being that loud. And it's a really sad scene. And then I was like, Aaron, that's my kid's name. I'm like, Aaron, are you okay? She turns around, full red face, tears going down. She's like, is the puppy gonna be okay? And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, is the puppy gonna be okay? I'm like, come here. Yes, the puppy's gonna be fine. Like, I actually had to hug her to get her to calm down, because she was, like, crying so hard at that scene. And then, like, when she watched the rest of the movie, and, like, and the dog does come back to, like, win the final game, basketball game, she was, like, cheering the entire time. She's like, yeah, puppy. And I'm like, oh my God, I broke you at 3.5.
You already broke the kid. So what do you think is going to happen with Mercedes now?
I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you're going to be more of a mess than Aaron.
I hope our listeners are just going to be just as sad as we are. Great. I don't want to do this episode anymore.
You brought up Air Bud.
Let's go watch SpongeBob or something.
Bring it around town.
All right.
Can I take your hat, sir?
Oh my God. So, anyways, the movies that we're going to talk about, if you remember from Monday's episode, is Doom and Silent Hill.
Yep.
Our 2 video game movies that are also horror themed. Yep. Horror. I feel like I said horror. They're horror themed.
You know, lots of slots.
so many slots. So we're going to talk about Doom first. Cody, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So there's a quick thing that we kind of touched on about, like, video game adaptations into movies. We both feel like whenever a video game's adapted into a movie, the most, in our opinions, the most successful ones, like the ones that are good, even though that's, like, it's hard to say, but, like, a video game adaptation into a movie that are good, it's been generally the horror themed ones, like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Doom. Like, they've been the most enjoyable to sit down and watch, because, like, they tell their story and everything.
I mean, you don't need to explain yourself.
I'm just saying. This is
the 6th episode.
All right.
They should understand what they're getting into at this point.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, fucking.
You are a powerful, independent woman, and you need no man.
I don't need no man. But yeah, so Doom. I like Doom out better over the 2.
Wait, real quick. You need to give the credits. Sorry, I forgot you need no man.
Yeah, let me do my thing. Always up stepping on my goddamn feet.
Are we fighting now?
You know what?
Are we gonna fight?
Is the podcast over?
Is this what's happening right now?
That's what I. You know what? Fuck the episode. But fine. The Doom director or director of Doom, however you want to do.
Maybe I should do the credits from now on.
His name is Andre Burkathy. No, it's
Should we just start over?
It's Andre Bart Kowiak.
If we're wrong, you can tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, I don't care. Producer, writer David Callahan and Wesley Strick. The cast, it stars Carl Urban, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's right. I'll say it like that every
Actually,
time.
he is credited as The Rock in this movie.
Yeah, this is before he dropped The Rock.
I didn't realize that until I saw the credits, and after I saved this, I'm like...
Yeah, he kept that until recently.
I'm
like, I think he only dropped it within the past, like, maybe year or so.
Let's call him DJ.
DJ? No, it's DTRJ. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Diobia Operai.
Operai.
It's whatever. Don't have a complicated last name if you want people to say it right.
Operai.
Ben Daniels.
Well, careful
like
there.
Ben Daniels. So you could say that name. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Great, we're racist. I was really hoping...
You were the racist one last time.
I was really hoping we could redeem ourselves from the Nazi jokes of 3 and 4.
I don't think there's any redemption coming back from that. Just saying.
Just finish! Just fucking finish!
Rosamund Pike, Razaka Dodi. Actually, I think I did say that right. Yeah, go me. Richard Brake and Al Weaver.
Again, email us if we're wrong about any of this.
Yeah, no, honestly,
we'll correct it next time.
The premise is Space Marines are sent to investigate strange events at a research facility on Mars, on but find themselves at the mercy of genetically enhanced killing machines.
It's Robot Wars.
No, they're mutants.
They're fighting Transformers.
Robots in the sky.
And that's where they were in the first Transformers movies.
Yeah,
they were on
that's
Mars.
where Michael Bay got his inspiration. He was like, I want to do that.
How can I whore out everyone's childhood?
Yeah, just make more explosions. Boom.
Boobies and explosions.
Yeah, basically. Just Megan Fox and explosions. That's all he puts them in.
Yeah.
But I really like this movie when it first came out. Like when I first saw it, yeah, it wasn't 100% true to form to the Doom games, and like, but that's kind of like what I liked about it, because like the Doom games were straight up just mindless fun.
Yeah.
Like the whole story, and then the whole point of Doom was just like you're going into hell to kill demons. And like I kind of like that they changed the lore up a little bit in this. Like they stuck to Mars, just like in the games, like you're on Mars and you teleport to hell.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about that, but I also like that I know it's kind of controversial in the sense because they changed the lore.
Yeah, they changed the lore pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that does it in for me, where I start to not like this movie because, like you, I enjoy it because of the mindless action and the gore. Like, surprisingly for this movie, because, like, this movie comes off as, like, it would be really bad gore. So the practical effects, that stuff, is really good.
Oh, yeah, like the demons in that. Well, I guess technically not demons, but the mutants.
Yeah, but
like, holy shit. Like, when they did the Destroyer, I think that's what they're called. The big bald white guys. The Knights. When they did the Knights, like, and it was, especially in that cage fight.
Oh, yeah, Destroyer fighting the demon.
I always forget. But fighting the Knight, like, just like, it was as a suit. It was a mechanical suit and stuff like that. I thought they did really well.
Yeah, no.
And it looked cool. It wasn't just CGI.
But, I mean, the CG that is in there
is pretty garbage.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. It's garbage.
It's rough.
But, I mean, I liked it because they also did a lot of nods to the game. So, like, what I was saying in the last episode was, like, I think a really good way to do a video game adaptation of a movie is you just kind of either you set it in the same universe, but you don't base it off of the actual stories that happen in the game, because for someone who loves playing horror games, if I watch a movie that's based off my favorite horror game,
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The suspense is gone.
It's gone, and I'm not controlling it. So it's like, it's weird seeing it like told to me instead of like I can't kill the demon in this way or in that way. It's like, well, this is how it has to happen, like in the movie.
Well, in the movie, it also has like an alien predator feel to it, where it's like a bunch of like swatted up dudes come to destroy this evil that's, or not evil, like this entity aliens. That's causing trouble for, this group of scientists. Mm-hmm. And it that's the predator feel of it, and the alien, like that's also the alien feel of it, where it's they like it just like in a bunch of hallway scenes, like where it's like super closed in, dark, you don't know what's going to come up. That feels a lot like kind of like Alien did, and also with the shady science experiments, which yes, you could say that was Resident Evil as well, but this is our podcast and we're making the examples.
Yeah, and since it's extraterrestrials, we're going to say it's more like Alien.
Yeah. So
fucking zombies.
And there's like, but there's shady experiments going on, and it. I would even go on to say that it has a good B movie feel to it.
Yeah, and I think that's what.
Like it doesn't do the humor, but it definitely does the like mindless, like fun stuff like that you can watch, like you.
And the action, like that, for the first person scene, straight up is like B movie feel.
It's what makes that entire movie, despite the gore. And I will say this: there was a scene with well, no, because we'll wait for that when we get to the spoilers.
Yeah,
but no, that FPS scene was actually really badass. Like, and I think it deserves more credit. That scene in general deserves more credit.
Well, like for that scene, so like a lot of the reviews that I saw of Doom, like, it was more of like just like reviews in other like YouTube shows that do the top 10s, and like Doom is generally on like the bad video game adaptation of movies, and they're like, if the whole, and almost every single one of them says if the whole movie was like the first person scene, it would have been so much better. But I think that was because they were getting at, it should have been just straight up mindless action.
Yeah, but that scene took 14 days to shoot.
No, I know, but like they, the biggest thing was that movie Hardcore Henry.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called. It was all just straight up action first person.
Yeah.
They say if it was something like that, like say for instance Doom came out now and it was like filmed like Hardcore Henry, I feel like a lot more people would enjoy it, especially after the remake.
Well, I think like, so going back to it being a B movie feel, like that's what makes this movie worth the watch. Like it doesn't deserve a complete write-off because it does change a lot of the lore, and we'll, like I said, we'll get into that in the spoilers in a second here. And why it's a bad thing. Like it's fun, mindless action. Like it's fun to watch, and I would maybe not to legendary status of like Evil Dead, but like action-wise, like that's why it's fun.
Yeah.
Like it's fun to watch. You know what you're getting into it. And so that's, again, for this type of movie, it does have surprisingly good gore. And again, that fight where Destroyer, who is played by Diobi Opire, I'm not laughing at his name. I'm laughing because I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and like that's not like a thing. Like I can't pronounce it. Like I ain't too smart.
I just don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah,
I was gonna write off that scene initially because I was like, why does this pit have a like 1990s Macintosh in it? Like old computer, and then he starts wheeling it around with like a whip, and he just like starts hitting that like demon with it, and starts fucking up the demon with it. I'm like, you know what? This is so B movie campy feel that I gotta like it. Like I can just imagine just like a whole WWE announcement going on.
And he picked up the Macintosh.
He's picking up the Macintosh.
He's picking him in the face with
Destroyer. It's destroying the demon.
My God, he broke him in half.
Holy WrestleMania. Only WrestleMania.
Like, oh my God, that movie would have been so much better with like good old JR just announcing that entire scene.
Only WrestleMania. Like, and also like there's just like enjoyable moments like where The Rock gets the BFG.
Oh my God.
So real quick, fun fact, the locker that the BFG is stored in is designated as IDKFA, which is the actual in-game cheat code used in the game to get the player all the keys, full weapons, and ammo.
Yeah.
So fun,
I do that.
Fun little fact about that.
But
apparently some of the scenes were also cut because of intense graphics and graphic violence.
Oh my God, they should have left them in.
I know.
They could have started the trend that fucking DC does now. The extended cut.
Yeah. We're coming for you, DC.
Seriously, man, you ruin your movies in theaters because you just had to cut out all the shit. And you're like, now we're going to release an extended cut so you can see what actually happens and make the movie make sense.
One thing because we were talking about in the previous, like, how they should include things to appease the fans. Mm-hmm. One thing that I would have thought helped is if they actually included the Doom Guy armor.
So I think they definitely should have. I agree. I think they should have at least, like, I don't know, like, had it in a locker or something like that. Like, could you imagine, like, The Rock, like, walking by and seeing that, and he's just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, or just all of them. Or so we're just getting into the cons here then. So a couple of the things that, before I get to the fallacies, I got to talk about this. So the thing that I thought harpened this movie was the fact that they put in an unnecessary family drama story between Carl Urban's character and Rosamund Pike's character, of them being brother and sister. Like, and the story basically, like, it's just a unnecessary plot device because it's about, like, how Carl Urban became a Marine and didn't follow, and become a doctor like his sister and parents. Like, it didn't. The movie didn't need that. And we're not saying that that's a bad storyline, but for this type of movie, for what they were doing, it was like an unneeded plot device.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could have been a lot better if they weren't, like, even if they did, like, they said they were like brother and sister, like, you didn't need as much of the family drama that it kept, like.
Well, and you can make the argument it gives depth to the story, but I mean, it's a Doom movie. It's supposed to be mindless fun.
Yeah,
and the things that kind of bothered me in this, is in the beginning when they get to the facility, the ARC facility.
Yeah,
they're like, Dwayne's character is just like, so do we, like, it's mentioned that there's some recordings of dialogue that happened in, like, where the incident happened in the movie.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, what are those recordings? And some dude just pulls out a recorder of, like, all them screaming. And so I'm just like, does he just carry around a recorder? Could they not pull that up on a computer? This is like a high-tech facility. Why does he... How does that...
It's a high-tech facility with a Macintosh computer.
I'm just saying, like he pulls out... Like, is that what he does at parties? Like, is that his, like, pickup line? Hey, ladies. I'm dying. Oh, God, my brains are everywhere. That could be you tonight. Like, what? Like, why does he just have a recorder of people screaming and dying? Like, it just seems like a weird thing. And another thing is that when Pinky is surprised that when Portman and Goat are walking through the animal testing facility and they have those artificial hearts in jars.
Yeah.
And, like, Portman and Goat are like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And Pinky can see what they're seeing because he's seeing it through a camera that's on their chest through a monitor.
Yeah.
He's looking and he sees the heart and he's like, what? Oh, cool. Like, he's surprised that there's artificial hearts. I'm like, aren't you the lead scientist of this fucking facility? How do you not know there's artificial... But head scientist. He has to at least know a little bit about it.
I mean, I get that, but, like, I don't know. So the way I took that scene was kind of like also in, like, the fucking... In Resident Evil, when they, like, release that dude releases a T-virus and stuff like that. Like, there were some of the scientists that were, like, the lead scientists on the project and stuff like that. They had no idea what it was.
That's a virus, though. This is just...
It doesn't, like, I'm just saying,
it's just
like,
some artificial heart.
I know,
this isn't like a virus. This is, like, something that can help people. How does he not know about this?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying,
that seems like a weird thing.
When it comes to, like, shady corporations about that whole thing, like... So, like, in the game... Like, some of the scientists just, like... I know this is, like, kind of a big jump because, like, it's two different lores. But, like, in the game, some of the scientists that are, like, working on the portal to hell and stuff like that, they don't know it's a portal to hell. Like, they don't. And then all of a sudden, these demons come out and they turn them into...
But that makes sense. This isn't even...
like, lead scientists and stuff like that. The only people that know it's the portal to hell are the people who are running the corporation.
Yeah, but this is just a plot. This isn't even a plot device. It's like...
I'm just saying...
It's a high-tech science facility.
It did bug me.
And he's surprised by it.
I'm just saying.
Like, he should have been surprised about the whole chromosome thing that they have in that movie. And he's not surprised about that, but he's surprised about this life-saving artificial heart that could help people.
Yeah, because maybe he was like, whoa, we're trying to help people?
That's not an excuse, All right, so now we're going to go into the spoiler territory of this movie. and then give our final thoughts on it. So if you don't want to,
Well, wait, hold on. A fun fact about the movie before we go into the spoiler things is The Rock originally wanted to play the good guy. He was, or not originally wanted to play.
oh no,
He was,
is this going to give away anything?
No.
Don't say good guy.
Sorry, Reaper. He wanted to play Reaper, who's played by Carl Urban. So one of the main characters, and The Rock decided he wanted to play Sarge instead, just because he felt like he fit the criteria for Sarge better. Like Sarge just sounded like a character that he could play better, which I thought was really cool. And The Rock also played a lot of Doom before the making of the movie.
And he said that it actually made him nauseous playing the old games,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of funny when you think of The Rock, this big, huge, beefy dude,
and he's shooting demons. He's like, and
but
he also thought that there was really good chemistry between Carl Urban and The Rock.
yeah, their chemistry in this, for what this movie is and how B movie it is, they do a great job with their roles, and all of them do a really good job reprising the roles in these movies. This movie. Sorry, in this movie, they all do a great job, but the chemistry between Carl Urban and Dwayne is really, really good.
Yeah, and you can actually tell The Rock is acting in it like it's a B movie. So that's why I thought it was really done well, because he's super over the top with his character traits.
And Carl Urban is a fantastic action star.
Yeah, I think he's very underutilized.
He's a legend waiting to happen. And I stand by that statement.
Oh, I do too. Especially his just Dredd in general. When he plays Dredd.
Yeah.
Fucking the best live action.
Best mouth acting ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to spoil the territory. I'd say go ahead. If you don't want to hear any of the spoilers, skip ahead 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that should
So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're in the spoilers. So there is actually a twist in this movie. We'll get to that in a second, but we're just going to go down the list of how I wrote this down. So one thing that we didn't see coming in this movie that was actually pretty cool was Carl Urban basically ended up being Doom Guy. Because you definitely felt like Dwayne was going to be Doom Guy the entire movie.
Especially because he gets the BFG and everything.
He runs everything.
And just the way he acts, no nonsense, just shoot everything. Just like the game, you're like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and Carl Urban isn't called a Doom Guy, but come on, he's Doom Guy.
Yeah.
He's the Doom Guy, and I actually like him more as the Doom Guy, just because he has the least amount of lines, and he's all about, just following orders, action, saving people. Yeah. He's, especially the FPS scene, he definitely owns up to that. Because I'm pretty sure that was all CGI'd, but
yeah.
Either way, still, it's fantastic. But another thing that kind of makes this movie is that the scene where Goat is attacked by a demon and killed. They're trying to save his life, and I felt it was pretty intense. Because you can actually see Carl Urban putting his all into that moment to actually try to sell that. And I liked it because you actually didn't know if Goat was going to come back or not. And again, for this type of movie, I know this isn't Shawshank Redemption or anything.
Yeah.
But it did a good job. I thought that was a really good, intense moment, especially for a movie that's so action-oriented that doesn't have as intense moments.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good moment. I liked that a lot. There's also, so now we're going to get into the twist, which either is going to make it or break it for you on this movie. So
it really is. I like the twist. A lot. I feel like the fact that they took it away from the whole demons and hell and stuff like that.
Right.
I thought in my opinion, it made it a little better.
Well, and what the twist is that, so apparently there's some superhumans on Mars that had all these chromosomes, and then this extra chromosome is what gives these superhumans up there their abilities, faster healing, super strength, stuff like that. Yeah. It's called chromosome 24, and when it's entered into a normal person from Earth, depending on your genetic makeup, you either churn out to transform into a horrific monster of doom, pun intended, or you churn out to be a superhuman. And it all depends if your genetic makeup is more violent or not. And I feel like if that was its own movie, it would be great. But
Yeah,
for
like, so if it
riding on
wasn't-
the tails of Doom,
Yeah.
I feel like it takes away too much from the main lore of the video games.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do agree with that. That it probably would have been a lot better if it wasn't saying like it was based off of Doom. But at the same time, like I did like that twist because they put their own like writing on the lore in a sense. But like again, the only things that it's really relatable to Doom is the BFG, a couple Easter eggs, the fact that it takes place on Mars, and then just what the monsters look like.
Yeah. Holy shit.
What?
We're at 45 minutes.
Already?
I know,
Jesus.
right? Yeah. It's okay. We can give them a little bit of a longer episode. We did with the Monday episode.
That's true. I just think this fucker's like, oh, we'll have the Friday episodes be a little shorter, and we're like already at 45 minutes.
I know, right?
But just kind of going back to like the cons. For one thing that you wrote was the stereotypical macho guys and how the squad is unlikable. I'd love that. Like I love the fact that like except for Carl Urban and his sister, you hated everyone else except like you cheered The Rock for the most part until like near the end.
Yeah.
But like when you find out he's actually like the big bad because he's so violent and everything. You're at 20% on this on your phone. ET dubs.
I mean, I can run and grab my charger real quick.
No, it's alright. I mean, it'll last for the rest of the episode.
Let's hope so.
But I like that all the characters were like super unlikable because they weren't Marines. It wasn't a Marine squad. It was a squad of mercenaries, and for the most part, you don't want to like those mercenaries. So like, especially I always forget his name.
No, they're Marines.
I thought it was a squad of ex-Marines.
I don't know if they're ex-Marines.
Like, because I thought they were just a squad of mercenaries. I mean,
they say Marines a lot, so I'm pretty sure they're just Marines.
Oh, okay.
Well, Space Marines, but...
Well, still, like, it just went in those kind of movies, you're not... I like it better when you kind of, like, hate all of them except for, like, the main characters. Because, like, especially that one piece of shit guy who gets killed in the stall.
Yeah.
I forget what his code name was. But, he's, like... He's such a piece of shit through the whole movie, and you can't wait for him to die. And then when he finally dies on the shitter, like, it's so funny. And you're like, yes! So I kind of like that.
So we should probably give our final thoughts on this so we can get to Silent Hill.
Yeah. I guess it's out of spoiler territory now.
Yeah.
All right, so...
it should be, hopefully. If not, if people tuned in at the wrong point, my bad.
Yeah, sorry. But my final thoughts, I think you definitely give it a shot, and you do have to like understand that it's just mainly sharing the name of Doom and just a couple like Easter eggs to the game.
And again, if you want a good B gory horror movie to kind of watch, give it a shot. It's worth the hour and a half that has invested in it. There's as much high points for it as there's much negative points. Mm-hmm. Just, listen to this, know what you're getting into. It's worth the watch. It's definitely entertaining.
Especially seeing like The Rock in his early acting days.
Yeah.
Like after WWE stuff. Like I thought it was pretty cool.
And like last thing I'll say is like I love the back and forth between him and Carl Urban when like he's finally like him and Carl Urban's character are gonna face off and like Carl Urban has his machine gun, Rock has the BFG. And, like, Carl Urban points the machine gun at The Rock, and he's like, you're thinking of shooting me, aren't you? And he's just like, thought about it.
Yeah.
And I like that quirky stuff. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's our input.
On Doom.
On Doom. Next, and I know we're more than likely going to go over our hour point. Yeah. If so, we hope you guys enjoy that we're going over. We're trying not to be... Like, we're trying to keep under an hour, but we're also just...
We really like these movies.
If we go over it, hopefully you guys don't mind. Yeah. I'm assuming not. This doesn't help that I keep bantering.
And keep, driving home the point that we're going over an hour.
Hour. Okay. So, on to Silent Hill. I'll start off this one. Mm-hmm. Directed by Christopher, I think it's Gans. It's Gans.
I think Christoph Gans.
Damn it, I thought there was an R. Christoph Gans, sorry. Writers, Roger Avery. I don't know if he produced the movie, but I do know he did write it. The cast is Radha Mitchell, Sean Bean, Laurie Holden, Deborah Kara Unger, Kim Coates, Tanya Allen, Alice. I can't tell if that's Craig or Craig.
I think it's Craig.
It's Krige, and Jodelle Ferland. The premise is, and like this is the premise I got off of IMDb. Again, it wasn't a great premise, so I kind of had to add some content to it. So a woman, Rose, goes in search for her adopted daughter who gets lost within the confines of a strange, desolate town shrouded in fog called Silent Hill. With a horrific past and even more horrific creatures lie that within. I fucked that up. That lie within the town. So if fog
Lie that within the
I'm giving
town.
IMDb so much shit.
And then you messed it up.
Yeah, I fucked up. Shrouded in fog called Silent Hill, with a horrific past and even more horrific creatures that lie within. So, yeah. The end. So, I love this movie, and fair enough, I've never played the video games. I've only been around them when they were being played. But I love this movie because it does a great job with its atmosphere. It sets a really good, scary nightmare vibe that it's been going for. The same that you would see in the games setting, which, is something that's very hard to do, or at least seems to be. And the protagonist, Radha Mitchell, as Rose, she does an amazing job with her role. And then even Laurie Holden, who plays Sybil, the cop, does a great job with her role too. Like, they're both strong female leads who don't show off their bodies, who are just there. Like, so basically, I love Rose in this movie because she's overcoming literal nightmares and all this terrifying demons and stuff that are after her, and want to kill her just to find her daughter.
Yeah.
That's all she wants to do. She musters up the bravery to face these nightmares to save her daughter. And, Laurie Holden is actually a smart cop.
Yeah.
In this movie. Is a smart cop in this movie. And even though she does one thing that I kind of question, I still give her the smart cop, the official smart cop in a horror movie.
I think so. She definitely breaks the boundaries of, like, if you're an authoritative figure, you're just going to get offed right out the beginning because you don't do protocol or anything. Like, she doesn't really, it makes you feel like, she knows her shit.
Yeah. She does a great job. Her character is also very likable. And just because sometimes you would see a supporting character in a horror movie just kind of in the way or being annoying, and Laurie's Holden character doesn't come off that way at all. And that's what I really like about it. And Alice Craig, who takes on the role as Christabella, the villain of the movie, does a fantastic job as this villain because she's very threatening without having like this massive like power. That doesn't help because she does have a massive power, but it's like, it's not like
you don't really see it till like near the end.
She's terrifying because of the people she can control.
Yeah,
because she's great at being manipulative, and that makes it very terrifying dealing with her because you don't know what she can do because she can get her followers to do anything. And the effect and the use of effects and gore in this movie are absolutely fantastic. Like how they bring the monsters to life that you would see in the game in this movie. The
Condom Man, that's what they actually called him on set.
Yeah.
Like the first monster you see.
Even Pyramid Head. They did a great job bringing those characters to life.
Pyramid Head looked great.
It could be argued that the CG for this movie isn't the greatest in some parts. But so like the insects aren't that great.
Yeah.
Or boils on the wall.
Yeah. But I think what make the CG that does make up for it though, like there's a couple like little shoddy episodes like scenes like the insects and the boils on the wall that first initial transition to from the creep like just the eerie ghost town to the evil town like to the outer world. Yeah. Oh my god, that sent chills up my spine because it felt like I was playing the video game again. I was like,
to even on that. Probably one of the few movies that does the most terrifying sound
That fucking horn.
The siren is so damn iconic, and it's so well done and used that it definitely puts a like sense of dread and uneasiness whenever it comes on in the movie. And I actually have that as my ringtone on my phone because it's so great at being creepy for just a horn. And I feel like this does a good job of doing a creative spin on an already existing lore because it uses the monsters, it uses the setting that you would see in the games, it uses the fog, all the things that the fans love about the games. Excuse me, sorry, I'm burping. And then it does a great job of putting a creative spin on it, where it's the mother finding the daughter, and at the same time the husband trying to find his wife and daughter.
Yeah, just because that references the first game. The first game, you're playing a dad trying to find your kid. And so, like, I thought that was a pretty good twist because Sean Bean's character actually I think he's supposed to be the character from the first game.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm fairly certain he's supposed to be the character from the first game. It's either that one or the second, or he's actually supposed to be like the guy from the second game. I can't remember.
I feel like he's from the first one.
Yeah, because the first one, it's the dad trying to find his kid. So
yeah, and also he doesn't die in this movie.
I know both of them. Like Sean Bean doesn't die in a movie.
And another thing I just want to point out real quick is that a lot of the cinematography and visuals and scenery in this movie are actually really breathtaking and really pleasant to the eyes. Even in like the horror world, when Rose has to survive being, killed by demon monsters of doom and nightmares and blah.
Yeah, the nurses and being
Pyramid
chased
Head.
down by Pyramid Head,
and the children.
Like my favorite scene out of the entire movie, honestly, is just when it does that upward view of Pyramid Head when he's like walking and he just like is holding that one lady by the neck, but it's the bottom shot.
Yeah,
and like you just see how it just makes it look massive.
It's so well done because he's so imposing and just such a terrifying sight to see. And that's what I would say sets Pyramid Head to be an iconic horror monster.
Because he's just so intimidating. And like the thing that I like, the nice thing that I liked about this movie that I know some people didn't like about it, and especially some people that are fans of the games that didn't like about it, is the pacing of the movie. It's kind of like a slow burn throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
But that's the point of the game, too. It's a slow burn in the game. You're supposed to take your time. You're supposed to figure out the world. And that's exactly what Rose is doing. She's taking
her time. And that's what I like about it, is that even though it's slow, it's interesting enough.
No, yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Like, it needed to be that. Because, like, me and you both agree, like, the second one is nowhere near as good. Because I didn't like it nowhere near as much, like, because it was so rushed.
Yeah,
it just went from this to this.
Which this movie is 2 hours and 5 minutes long.
Yeah, they took their time. Like, I felt like they took their time with this and stuff. And yeah, there was like scenes they cut out. Like, there was an extended scene of the condom man, the first monster they see.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it, and like, but I felt like it was good that they had it that short for that part. Like, this is your first glimpse, and then they took their time with everything else. Like the nurse scenes where she like is in that hallway with all the nurses.
Yeah, that scene was so intense. That scene was so crazy, so intense. Like, and that's what I love about the movie. It does such a good job at making you feel just as uncomfortable and just as like on edge and like tensed up when she has to go and encounter these nightmares that she can't do anything to fight against.
No, and
at all.
And another really good, cool, great thing about the movie, it doesn't rely on jump scares.
No,
it's all atmosphere, just like the games.
Well, kind of.
Well, I'm saying it doesn't rely on.
I know.
Like, I shouldn't have said that. It does have them. Like, it does have a couple.
I don't know why I talk. I shouldn't talk anymore.
Yeah. But, like, it does have a couple of jump scares, but it doesn't rely on those. It relies all on building the atmosphere, building everything about it. Like, it's a slow burn, just like the game.
It does such a good job. And in my opinion, it's best watching this movie when it's rainy.
Yeah. You're just like...
But, I tried not being so biased on this movie because even though I love it, there are some cons in it. So, we already kind of touched on the whole changing from the game story, so I don't think we need to point that out anymore.
No, not as much. I mean, like the only thing that I have about the lore, like changing of the lore of the story from the game to the movie, is that all the creatures in the games are supposed to be the manifestations of the player characters' worst nightmares,
the sins,
fears, the sins and stuff,
demons that
like
haunt them.
While the creatures in the movie aren't. They're not the.
No, they're the sins of what the town has done to Alessa.
Yeah, instead of the sins of the main character that you're following. I felt like I don't know if that would ruin it if it was they were characters of the sin, like the manifestations of the sins of the character, but that was one thing I didn't like at the same. I liked it and I didn't like at the same time. It was like one of those weird things because like it would, without delving more into because you don't get a whole lot of Rose's backstory.
Right, and we'll get into the spoiler section soon. So if that's going to go into spoilers, we can just move on to the other cons.
I mean, yeah. But like,
so one thing that I would say it's a con about it is that there's nothing really established about the town if it's a purgatory or something else. They do mention it that it tends to be some of the townspeople own hell or limbo, but there's never a clear direct answer to why or what the town is exactly. Yeah. And I mean, maybe that's what works for it is that you can't put a name on it. That's what makes it creepy. But I feel like that would kind of throw some people off because, this is definitely a movie that has mysteries and needs to answer those questions.
Yeah.
And another thing that I would say is that there's points where it's like too CGI'd, and that's where I was like talking about with like the bugs and like the boils on the walls.
Yeah.
Like you can just tell it's really CGI. I mean, obviously it's CGI'd, but you can just it's too.
It's a little off.
Like when some of the scavengers are being attacked by the bugs, you can just really tell, and it throws you off a little bit. When the rest of this movie looks like its own haunted house, that you would walk through, and it just throws me off a little bit. And I'll say that. And also there's so like this is more like kind of weird fallacies, or I don't know why I say fallacies, but like just weird things that it doesn't make sense. So the first one I'll go with is that Sybil, the officer, when she finally like puts Rose in handcuffs, and they encounter their first monster together, the one that's like all bounded and shoots acid. Man. Oh, the Condom Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call it on set. I don't know what it's actually called in the movie, but like they just nicknamed it the Condom Man.
So so she finally shoots it and kills the Condom Man, but Rose runs off, and instead of immediately chasing after her, Sybil looks up at the mountain where Condom Man came from and stares to see that there's more Condom Men walking down the mountain. She's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Your captive is getting away."
Yeah, but
I mean, I get it, but I feel like with how intent she is up to that point of catching her, it just seems kind of weird to get that distracted.
I don't know. I feel like no matter how like intent I was on trying to like get my captive and stuff like that, the second I see like this like the Condom Man like, and I shoot it in the face and it finally dies, and then I
see more?
I wouldn't care. Yeah, I'd shit my pants and I'd shit myself. I'd be like, nope.
I'm just saying.
Fuck her. I'm out.
There's also a scene where Rose and Sybil are taken to the hospital, to the heart of the darkness of what's causing all this horror and nightmares in the town. So Christabella tells Rose...
Is it a spoiler?
No.
No? Okay.
No. So Christabella tells Rose, memorize this map because you're going to need to know this how to get out of here. And it's a map of the whole hospital. And I'm just like, why doesn't she just take the map off the wall? Why doesn't she just take the map off the wall and put it in her back pocket instead of memorizing it? Because none of the townspeople like going there. They avoid it. They see it as an evil place, so they're never there.
Sounds like no one would miss it.
And even if Christabella wanted the map for herself, she could just,
Beep.
Yeah, dude, I just don't know why they leave the map there. That just doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I get it for intensity, but it could be just as intense if she's running through, looking up and down, trying to figure out where she's going. I don't know. That just didn't make sense to me. And this also doesn't give away anything, but like, so um, Sybil doesn't go with Rose down the elevator to in that same scene. She instead fights out the scavengers because the scavengers turn on Rose and Sybil. And so
Oh yeah.
so Sybil
That's
could have
right.
and Sybil could have gone with her down the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she doesn't.
I guess they just wanted that whole like
It's supposed to be the hero's journey.
Yeah,
And I get that, but still I'm just like, because I don't know, I didn't like that. And one last thing about this is that so there's a scene where they find Sharon, Rose's daughter. The scavengers do, and they bust into the room to grab Sharon. And so here's what's bugging me. So they bust in the room and the door is locked.
Yeah.
But Christabella is already in that room on the other like side of the room.
Yeah.
And it's just a hallway connecting the two rooms. There's no door. How is Christabella in a room with a door already locked?
Well, I guess it's that I don't know. Like, yeah, it kind of that did bug me, but at the same time, it's like you kind of had to disband your belief slip. Like, you know how Christabella like is this all powerful being and
Sure.
has those like the powers and stuff like that. Like, he could just she teleports.
But she doesn't have any powers. That's the thing. She's just manipulative. She's a cult leader.
Nope, teleports.
Like, how is she in a room with the door already locked?
Nope, teleports.
Like,
She can teleport.
that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. That bugged me. All right, so now we're going to go to spoiler territory. So, again, we'll go ahead like about, 8-10 minutes. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was a gingerbread man all the time.
It's a ginger dead man.
That was a fucking stupid joke. It's 2 a.m. So the twist of this movie is that Rose, Sybil, and Sharon ended up dying. And that's not directly said.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know that Rose was dead throughout the whole movie.
Well, it's subtly told. It's subtly hinted at the whole time because of, just like things that give it away. So Sybil's bleeding head. Like when like Rose is like, your head is bleeding. And yeah. So that's like a hint at it. And that whenever Rose calls her husband, Sean Bean's character, through the radio, there's static. It's jumbled up. Like you would hear in a paranormal investigation of ghosts. Yeah. Like that's another hint. And also when Rose and Sharon get back to the home, like you can tell because the home that they get to, there's sunlight through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like it's more heavenly looking to where when it shows Sean Bean, like it's dark, like it's more mood setted with rain. Yeah. They're not in the same room.
Yeah.
And so also key point, when he's in Silent Hill, it's not the same Silent Hill that Rose is in. There's no fog. There's sunshine and everything. Yeah. And him and Kim Coates' character have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yet no one, and you could say, well, no one knows that they need to wear a mask, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's kind of common sense. But like, so when Rose is running by the lockers, Sean Bean stopped and Kim Coates is like, what's wrong? And Sean Bean's like, I just felt her. I just smelled her perfume.
Oh, that's right.
So that's how you know they're dead. And it does a really good job of getting out those hints. And like, there's a few other really good ones that I want to give out, even though I know this is like spoiler corner right now. But that's some really good hints at that. And also, what was really confusing is that when Rose finally talks to Alessa and the darkness and like possessing Alessa, what doesn't make sense is that Rose obviously adopted Sharon, but it said that Sharon is Alessa's kid, or like hinted, but Alessa is a girl, like a little girl, when she is burned. Yeah. So did she give birth after she was burnt? Is Sharon the reincarnation of Alessa?
I think okay. So like, I think it's just because like so the way the town is. And how the all the characters are based, like in the Silent Hill town, is kind of like back in the old days when girls who were like young girls who were like 12, 13 were getting pregnant and having kids and getting married and stuff like that. And that was like normal.
Yeah, but that's never said or anything.
I know, but I think that's what you're supposed to get out of it.
But no, because it's said in the 70s.
No. I know, but the way the cult is.
Oh, you're saying the cult is like, because it's crazy.
Yeah, because they're all crazy and stuff like that, and they're all old timey, like not 70s old timey, like old timey, like how that used to be the norm.
Witch hunting, witch burning.
Yeah, like the
Salem.
I think that's what. Because I think that's why. I think like Sharon.
Yeah.
Sharon, the little girl, that's totally believable in my head because like that was normal at the time. That their cult is based off of.
But that still doesn't explain like how Sharon is Alessa's kid though, because the cult wants to kill Alessa. They don't want to impregnate her.
No, I'm saying she probably gave birth to Sharon. Because she was a little kid, like when she was.
I get what you're saying.
And then like she got Sharon out of there, because she knew the townspeople were trying to kill her.
Well, is it that, or is it like the sister of Alessa? That's what I'm saying. Like it's like it makes you weirdly question Sharon's existence in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why I brought that up. And if Alessa needed Rose's help so much to get vengeance on the rest of the town,
mm-hmm.
why was she trying to kill her the whole time? Because here's the thing, because the monsters are Alessa's, are Alessa's doing. She's supposedly controlling them, telling them who to go after. Why is she trying to kill the shit of Rose?
So because like a pyramid head especially,
and you can even say Pyramid Head is just trying to grab her, but it's kind of hard to see the welcoming mat with that dude.
Yeah, well, like I think with that entire thing, so like how those movies kind of go out about it is that she's luring her. She keeps, because if you notice, she's using the monsters and stuff like that to lead Rose in that direction. So she's scaring her that way because like it's not like she probably doesn't believe that she could just be somehow manifest like a voice to Rose and be like, you should come over here and help me. Like
we don't know.
I know, but I'm saying that's probably like what you're supposed to be getting at is that she's scaring her and luring her through, just like so it's like the game. She's being scared in this direction. Just like in the games, you're like led through this linear path with all these scary interacting with all these scary things. I think that's how it's kind of trying to tie into the games also.
Yeah, but so what if like Rose made a mistake and trip and got killed?
Shit out of luck there.
So that's what I'm just kind of saying. Is just
I get it.
And we'll try it because I don't know if we're already past that 10-minute mark from people. So also real quick, so it's said in the movie that the cultist people are in their own hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's never really explained. I feel like that could be explained more. But the last thing I want to complain about real quick is that so the Dark Entity said that they can't enter the church alone. So they need to use Rose as a vessel.
Yeah.
So the only way that vessel, like the Dark Entity comes out is after Rose gets stabbed. What was the plan if she never got stabbed? Like, is she supposed to stab herself? Like, because she doesn't have a knife. Like, so there's not really like, so what's like the backup plan after she entered the church if she never got stabbed? Just punches herself in the face. It does
your own face in.
So it seems really lucky that happened. So that's kind of weird. Other than that, I would say that the ending of this movie is probably one of the best gory scenes I have ever seen.
Oh my god, right?
Horror movie.
Well, even before that, like I think my favorite goriest scene in that is just when fucking Pyramid Head rips the skin off.
That too.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Like I was not prepared for that. I thought he was gonna stab her. Like as I was like, oh, they're gonna reference Silent Hill 2 with like Pyramid Head. Spoiler for the game. Has Maria like all strapped to this like, giant gurney thing, and he just fucking shanks her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's gonna show that time. Nope.
Twists and rips.
And fucking throws it against the church door. I was like, oh! God! Like, Jesus.
But yeah, so we'll give our final thoughts because we're now at an hour, like 15, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So Silent Hill is my pick for this week. It's a fantastic movie. It has great atmosphere. is definitely one that you want to curl up with someone and watch with. The story behind it's really good. Amazing scenery, and it's one of those rare horror movies that does a really good job with its atmosphere, putting in a sense of dread.
Yeah, especially it's one of those rare horror movies, especially based off of a video game. Like, they did a really good job of bringing the atmosphere of the game into the movie.
Completely agree. And I think Silent Hill is a good example to go with of how you can do a video game movie right.
Yeah, because it's based in the same lore in essence. They change it, it tweaks it just enough.
Yeah.
Because instead of the creatures being the manifestation of the main character, it's the manifestation of everyone in the town instead.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
And just to throw in some cool fun facts with this one is that so when Roberto Campanello was playing Pyramid Head, he wore 15-inch heels to make him close to 7 feet tall. Many creatures
should have just got the big show.
Well, it's the Pyramid Head.
Love you, Paul White.
Right.
Sorry.
It's cool.
All right.
Why do you gotta bring race into it?
I legitimately thought his name was Paul White.
So many of the creatures in the film are played by dancers, so they could be flexible enough to create the required disturbing movements.
I forgot about that, especially the nurses. I was like,
yeah. And the contorted dude in the bathroom, and so apart from Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, every piece of music is directly from the game series in this movie, and also during that dark nurse scene that Rose is trying to get through the nurses, she got punched by one of them by accident. So I don't know if she finished the scene at that moment, but
she just gets dead. Like, nope, fuck it. I'm out.
My bad. So in the beginning of the film, when Rose is running frantically trying to find Sharon, she runs through a tunnel. On the tunnel wall is graffiti spelling out the name Cheryl and Cheryl's original name of Sharon's character from the video game.
Yep.
And also, maybe you want me to throw? Do you think I should throw in one more?
Sure.
So to add to the accumulated filth. Oh my
god! Sorry, that whole Cheryl thing. I was like, fuck! I totally forgot. That's the ending of Silent Hill 3.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the tie-in for 3. Jesus.
So, due to the nature of Silent Hill film, just so anybody is wondering about Jodelle Furland, she was only 10 years old at the time of filming, and writer Roger Avery apologized to her parents. Should she have any signs of mental trauma. Sorry about your kid's trauma.
Sorry, but she's in it, so here's your money.
So, yeah, and that is Silent Hill and Doom. And that will do it for this episode.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
We'll talk to Megan, see if she'll make us some t-shirts designed, because she's an amazing artist.
Amazing.
If you want to check out her stuff, we'll include her link in the description, because we want to shout her out some more. So, but yeah, follow us on Facebook at Punk Rock Horror Podcast.
Instagram at Punk Rock Horror Podcast.
Twitter at official PHP. If you want to send us your stories to read on our Monday episodes, it's all lowercase, punkrockhorrorpodcast at gmail.com. And check out our website, punkrockhorrorpodcast.com. All right. Rate, review, subscribe, send us some of your love. Let us know if you guys are liking what you're hearing, what you don't like. Maybe we'll listen, maybe we won't. There's only one way to find out.
Everyone always likes some feedback.
So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for your support, and hopefully your love.
And good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.